just want them to know that they can always count on me and understand that I'll be there for them, anything they need. And I think I take that into my game too. That understand that like, hey, I'm gonna be the best teammate I can be, and make sure that I'm gonna do everything I can to help our team win.
Who was your first call or text when you found out?
Definitely my family, my dad, and I think my mom and dad started crying or whatever. So it was surreal. So I called my dad later that night, and then I took a nap. So.
You call Book, or did he call you?
Yeah. So Book, I texted Book, and he called me, and he was like, "I better be at the draft like you were with me." So, it'll be a fun year for sure. I'm excited to watch him play for the Cowboys.
Ty, take me through Alabama's wide receiver room. What have you seen this spring or this fall from that room, guys like Isaiah Horton, Ryan Williams?
Yeah, man, we got a bunch of studs, man. I'm really excited about that group. We got a transfer from Isaiah from Miami, who I knew, in Nashville. Jerem's coming off a big year, who I think he's going to have a better year. Even the same with Ryan. He's older now, bigger and stronger. Then you got guys like Derek Meadows, Latsir Brooks, Rico Scott, who are stepping up in big ways. And then you got Cole Adams, and Bach is transferring from defense to offense. Man, those guys are doing a great job, and they're really detailed in their routes. And Shep has done a great job just making sure that even on pass plays that they're or run plays that they're blocking and being selfless, man. So I'm really excited about that group, and it's my job to get those good players the ball.
What do you want your process over the next couple of weeks now that you've been named starter?
Yeah, really nothing's going to change. I'm going to make sure I go through my process of, just being the best I can be. I got to make sure that my teammates can count on me and make sure they have confidence in me. And I'm going to make sure that I can, give us the best chance to win. And, whether that's handing the ball off 50 times or throwing it 50 times, I got to understand my job and make sure that I give us the best chance to win on Saturdays.
Other than being just simply older, how do you feel you're a different quarterback than the last time you went through a competition like this?
Yeah, I've talked to Coach Saban a lot. He always would tell me, don't worry about the outside noise, don't worry about external factors, don't worry about anybody else, just be the best you can be. And I really didn't understand that when I was a young guy. I would always be worried about, somebody else or somebody at, a different type of school or whatever, or be looking somewhere else and, be like, man, I could have played there or whatever. But, he always kept saying, just focus on yourself, focus on the best you can be. And then, when Coach DeBoer came, he talked about going 1-0 and, winners win because that's what winners do. And I had to sit back and, pray about it and just think to myself, like, man, like I got to do something. I can't keep going down this road of just, worrying and having anxiety or whatever. So, I sat back in my room one night and I was like, man, I'm going to pray. I'm going to give everything I got to the Lord and just make sure I understand that, like, hey, that, I'm just going to be the best player, best Ty Simpson I can be. And I think, these last couple of years, that's what I've really tried to do, just make sure, like, hey, don't do anything fancy, man. Like, even though it's the University of Alabama, just play football and just be the best version of yourself you can be. So,
what stood out to you in those prayers, or what kind of revelations did you have?
Yeah, I remember my sophomore year when it happened, really. It was after a spring scrimmage. I came in. I didn't really do a lot. I came in. I just started crying. I was just like, man, like, what is going on, man? Like, what, I just don't feel like it's not fun to me anymore. And my dad asked me, he was like, man, like, how's your faith doing? What are you doing to, make sure that, you give everything to trust in the Lord? And I had to sit back and I was like, man, like, you're right. Like, I'm more worried about how people perceive me in football than they do, how I walk in my faith and how I am as a person, man. So, football means a lot to me. Don't get me wrong. I make sure that I'm going to do everything because he's given me this platform and he's given me this opportunity. But no matter how many touchdowns I throw, no matter how many wins I have at the University of Alabama, I'm a Christian first, and I know that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Have you mentioned Coach Saban? Have you heard from him yet?
No, but I can't wait to see him, though. I'm going to tell him thank you. And, he means a lot to me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for his guidance and everything he's done for me.
What are some areas that through film study and meetings that you think you can still grow and develop?
Yeah, I feel like I can still grow and develop every day of just understanding the offense better, understanding, defensive coordinators, and just understanding, hey, this is why we do it. So, I'm going to continue to grow with that. And Coach Grubb, meet with Coach Sheridan or whatever, and just, make sure that, I understand why and, make sure that we give the best chance to win on Saturdays.
We're going to spend a lot of time analyzing your game and looking at all these clips. How would you describe yourself as a quarterback?
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm a dual threat guy. I can sit in the pocket or I can escape and make plays. But I also I think underrated part of my game is that I'm going to do what it takes to win. So, I'm going to do the gritty stuff. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to make sure we get the first down when it's 4th and 3. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, those guys make me look good in that locker room, with our wide receiver group, our running back group, our O-line, man. I'm so excited about these guys, man, and they make me look good, so I got to make sure that I give them everything I got. So that's what, I tell them every day, that when I go in the huddle, like, man, I'm going to go hard for you today. Like, we talk about being unbreakable all the time, and the only way I'm unbreakable is if we're all unbreakable together as an offense and team.
Last one.
Ty, there's been a lot of talk about, the gimme offense, those 5-yard, 10-yard